Hello, hello, hello. Do you often find yourself leaving home without having done anything for your body and then later realizing, wow, I guess my body doesn't feel right? Or you have to do some kind of physical activity that could be strenuous, but you've done nothing to prepare it? Well, this is the last video in a series of 9 in which I share with you simple exercises that you can do to wake up your body and get as much support as possible available to you in as little time as possible. So if you want to see the next and last of these series of 9, and this one in particular on the fine art of throwing a ball, keep watching. I'll be right back. Hello again. It's me, Dan Stott, creator of the Body Empathy Method and the Healthy Pain-Free Body Formula. I think the sun is covered enough for me to take my hat off. So, I'm also the creator of a series of videos called Body-Mindfulness, Dynamic Whole Body Movements for Optimal Health, in which, as I explained a moment ago, the idea is to show you some simple exercise that you can do in very little time to wake your body up and get as much support available as possible in very little time. And as you can hear, I'm out here in the urban jungle with the children and the dogs and the parrots even sometimes saying hello. A dynamic whole body movement that not only wakes your body up, but serves to integrate the left and right sides. And as you integrate the left and right sides of your body, both sides through a throwing motion, you're actually doing a kind of brain gym, integrating the two hemispheres of your brain, just as you do when you're crawling and walking, like that. So in the first video, I talked about the basic throwing motion, which I taught by doing it first one-handed. And it's all about, throwing is all about using the body, the shifting of the body weight, and then pivoting in the feet and turning the body to give an impetus to the arm movement. You want the arm to hang like a pendulum as I'm shifting my weight forwards and backwards like this. And it's actually a very useful, powerful relaxation technique. And when I began to teach people as a body therapist and educator, explore with them the simple throwing motion, I found that many people had difficulty doing it. There was so much tension in their body that they weren't aware of until I asked them to do a simple thing like shifting their body weight back and forward, letting the arm hang. So now doing a sidewards movement, the arm should sort of hang like this, but let's just work with one, and then you begin to pivot in the feet, and voila, you get this arm bending behind the back as well as in front. The arm should be relaxed and sort of wrap around the body like that. And in the second video, we explored how this can become the very dynamic throwing motion in which you actually take a step after having thrown, just like as if you were throwing a javelin, a spear, or like what a pitcher does in baseball. People throw and then step, because if you don't take that extra step and you throw really hard, you might lose your balance and fall down. So in the second video, we practiced throwing, taking a step, and then throwing and taking a step with the other arm. Because in my system, my Body Empathy Method's Healthy Movement System, towards the end when we get into this throwing motion, I want you to be able to throw with both hands, not just your dominant hand. Even if you're someone who already knows how to throw a ball and can do it very well, you may not be ambidextrous. You may not be good at throwing with both hands, and that is in your benefit to learn how to do. So finally, in this video, we're going to do something that's even more dynamic. We're not only going to take one step, we're going to take a second step and turn. So imagine, for example, that you had two friends, one off to your right and one off to your left. And you had a cornucopia of balls that would enable you to, whenever you want, suddenly have a ball in your hand. So what you're going to do is begin the basic throwing motion, or the preparatory motion, And when you throw, after taking one step, you're going to take a second step and turn, spin around so you're facing in the opposite direction. So this way, the movement is even more dynamic and more fun. A variation on this, it's not really throwing, but it's an exercise, I think, a very basic warm-up exercise they do in the Japanese martial art Aikido. You start with your arms hanging like pendulums, and then you swing them up, and they come down. So it's this same, the footwork is the same. Only with the throwing, you're throwing, and you're throwing. You're throwing. In fact, you can actually throw behind you. Normally I don't recommend that, but it can be done like this. You step and you throw. You step. This is sort of like the Aikido movement. You come up and you throw. But I don't want to emphasize that. That's a little more advanced. The only people who throw that way are sometimes people in American football. The quarterback might be going backwards and throwing the ball in a forward direction, but that's not the way you want to practice throwing. You want to practice throwing always stepping in the direction that you're throwing and not away from it. So this exercise is much more, even more dynamic than the simple throwing and stepping, stepping, and turning. And it's actually a lot of fun, which brings me to an important point. And that is that my method, the body empathy method, and the healthy movement system part of it, is all about preparing your body for all of your daily activities in ways that are safe and very practical too. And I will go into more detail about that in another video. But what I want to say in addition to that is that it's not just about exercising like you're taking some kind of bad tasting medication to get the benefit from it. No, I want you to have fun like these kids behind me playing. I want you to experience almost a childlike enjoyment of moving your body in space because it feels good, because it's fun, because there's even a kind of a sensualness to it if you do it in a relaxed way, etc. So I really want to encourage you to find an activity that you can do, whether it's walking or throwing a ball, running, that's almost more like dancing than exercising in the traditional sense, because contrary to a very common saying, no pain, no gain, in the body empathy method, we have a different one. In the body empathy, I say, no brain, no gain. You want to exercise smarter, not harder, as they say. Excuse me. So I'm really glad I got to share some of these simple exercises with you, exercises that are dynamic, whole body movements that you can use to wake your body up and get as much support as possible available in as little time as possible. Excuse me. However, I really recommend that you invest in learning the whole system, at least at the very basic level. The first 8 exercises I teach in a workshop course called Your Pain-Free Body, Your Pain-Free Back, in which it culminates in the first exercise in this whole series of 9 in the squatting exercise, the squatting motion, which now many people are teaching on YouTube, but absolutely no one is teaching it the way I teach it, which is much more organic and safe. And since the body empathy method is based almost entirely on methods that we used in rehabilitation medicine, as well as recovering from the type of injuries that I've had to my body, and even controlling chronic illness without any medication, it's all about doing things, as I say, that are safe and with a logic to them. And the last thing I'll say about it is that in the same way that children go through a universally common series of body movements in their first year of life that prepares their body for standing and walking, the body empathy method's healthy movement protocol is the answer to the question, well, is there an equivalent of logical movements to prepare the adult body for its more complex daily activities? And my movement system, the body empathy method's healthy movement system, is the answer to that question. It consists of a logical progression of simple, safe, easy to do body movements that are extremely practical. They are essential. And this is what I want to give with you, to share with you and to give to you. Only what is most essential, what is most basic, what is most important. Once you have that as your foundation, then you are safe, literally, and able to do more strenuous activity, playing sports and whatever that strenuous activity might be, because you have the full support of your body available to you. It's warmed up not only musculoskeletally, but neurologically too. And I'll talk more about what I mean by that in another video. Meanwhile, thank you for watching this video. If you're watching it on YouTube and you're not subscribed to my channel, subscribe. Why not? Hit the notification button. And this way I can send you an email every time I upload a new video. If you've liked this video, hit the like button too. I would appreciate it. If you have a question, ask me in the comments section. Or you can send an email to me, especially if you have a health issue that you're concerned about, or you simply want to know how to optimize your health through optimizing your body's movement and breathing systems in particular. Formulate that question, send it to me by email, send it to infobodyempathy@gmail.com. And I'll do my best to answer your question. And if it's a question I think other people might benefit from the answer, I might even make a video about it. How cool is that? So, thanks again for watching this video. I look forward to seeing you in future ones. Meanwhile, take good care of yourself and take good care of your body too.